And I just want to say, here he is, round number 2 for League Monthly February 2012 tournament. You can find out all the brackets online at esportsmonthly.com. Regards here with 4th Oracle from Dirtnap Gaming. It's just the usual versus Geo and Friends, the second-seeded Geo and Friends for the tournament. And we've been talking a lot about the importance of the jungle in this game, and I think we can also rule out it's going to be really all lanes and all lanes and the jungle really have interesting matchups.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested in all these lanes. I think that Udyr is going to beat Lee Sin top unless Pawn Gypsy can dance around with his Q and W really well. Bot lane is going to be something that's going to be very interesting as well. Tristana has the capability to be both aggressive and defensive. However, Sona and Corki have so much poke damage. If they're able to keep Tristana and Janna low, because Janna, she has her shield, but she doesn't have any real healing sustain.
Yeah.
So unless she's able to land every single shield, Tristana and Janna are most likely going to be on the defensive end of things. However, that may be okay, because Tristana is such a powerful late-game character with her incredible range. Her passive giving her so much extra. Even at level 6, it begins to show itself. So I think that if Tristana and Janna can just hold out until mid-game, and Janna can land those shields, I think they'll be all right. I think that will be a win for Tristana and Janna. However, Corki and Sona do have a lot of that poke power.
Well, and like you said, it's interesting because I think I would have to give team comp wise. I'm probably going to have to give Team Geo and Friends the better team comp with the better late game. You've got Cassiopeia, you've got Shyvana, you've got Tristana. Udyr, he kind of falls off late game, but he just has so much utility and so much kind of AoE damage depending on whether he goes Tiger or Phoenix. Really, it's going to be interesting to watch the early to late game. I give.
Oh, these two teams are right next to each other.
I mean, this
is and Brand in the bush is just beyond each other's view.
It's very interesting to see. Now, most Maokais do start off at that kind of Wraith area, and you start laying them down right around 106. And I think Geo and Friends know that. I think they know that he's going for those Wraiths.
Yeah, definitely. Udyr, however, is waiting down here in this tri-bush. It almost looks like Geo and Friends wants to... Yeah, there's the fallback ping. I think what they want to do is they just want to make sure that their blue is safe, and they're just defending it aggressively. Uh-oh, it looks like Udyr's moving in.
Very interesting.
What's he doing?
Udyr,
He's moving into the bush down just beneath red, but Corki is right there.
It's a bad position for Udyr to be in.
The rest of just the usual is moving in, and Osis could easily get caught right here. Raging Kenny sees him, and here comes Maokai around from the other side, but he doesn't have his root. Udyr is going to flash over the wall, and he's going to be okay. The Lee Sin Q just barely missing. However, if he had Q'd toward him, the rest of Geo and Friends would have caught him and possibly killed him. So Udyr's just going to back and probably run up to top lane. He does have teleport, so I'm guessing he's going to use that there.
All right, and so we see both the players starting to make their way after the early game trade off to their lanes. I mean, that was amazing that Udyr didn't get caught. He was in a terrible position, in a 1v4 position, a very smart flash, but that might play out to Lee Sin's advantage just because Udyr's going to be top now with no Ignite for the next about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Udyr choosing not to use his teleport, just walking over to lane, doesn't want to burn his other summoner, I'm guessing, because he already had to burn Flash to get out of there.
Right. An interesting start for Shyvana, who Shyvana usually starts, not usually, Shyvana can kind of start mostly anywhere. She started with Cloth and 5 pots, so that way she's just got great sustain. She's going to make a clear in the jungle, and it looks like she's going to kind of power level her way through the first couple of levels. But a lot of times we see her starting at red, this time starting at blue.
Yeah, that's a choice that a lot of junglers make. I think they want to do it just so they can get the early EXP and then get blue to their mid laner next time it comes up. It's rather nice timing.
Absolutely. So we see a little bit of trade down in bottom lane. Nothing to really write home about. Both Sona taking some damage, Tristana also taking some damage. Actually, Tristana is taking about a quarter of their health, so we see a little bit of damage going on there.
Yeah, the trick, though, is Sona has the same. Janna doesn't. Wow, taking so much damage from that Q and power cord. And Corki laying down his own harass. I don't know that that Tristana and Janna are going to be able to handle this sort of amazing poke damage. Maokai is coming in around behind Cassiopeia.
The root goes down.
Brought him down underneath tower, and Shyvana is there to make sure that Cassiopeia is going to be okay.
That was a close one there for Cassiopeia, and a great move from Maokai. Maokai is going to decide to go back after that one just because he said, okay, that didn't work, let's get out of there. And it was a smart move. He could have laid down his ground pound. Instead, he decided not to for the knockup, and that was just kind of a smart move. We see Shyvana sitting in the river here. Sona just laid down a ward, and Shyvana's going to catch. She's going to catch. Shyvana's going to catch Sona. Sona's going to have to burn her exhaust on Shyvana. But there's big damage going down on Corki. Corki gets the ignite. Is he going to go down? No, it doesn't look like he's going to go down. He does get a health pot off. Sona taking a lot of damage as well, and that is going to be first blood for Shyvana, and that is going to go for Geo and friends.
Wow, what an incredibly close play. Corki almost going down, but then they did such a good job shifting their focus over to Sona once they saw that Corki wasn't going to go down to Ignite, and they just couldn't do it.
We see some big damage going on up top as well. As you look, both Lee Sin and Udyr are pretty low. Now, both of them do have some pretty decent sustain, and they are going to get back health as they make their way throughout the lane, but really below half health, and Lee Sin really being aggressive. That top lane is pushed really far.
Yeah, actually, a moment ago, not even 2 minutes ago, I think, Lee Sin was way ahead of Udyr. Lee Sin had so much more damage. I mean, Udyr was at about 300, while Lee Sin was at full. And now it looks like Udyr has been able to really even out the score.
Well, it looks like Udyr has... he is going for the Tiger Stance Udyr, which does a lot of burst damage for an AD type an AD melee champion. So it's not surprising that he could trade. And if you look, he actually has taken 3 in his Turtle Stance. So he has great sustain in lane, and he's also healing back for a lot.
Hold on a second. Check out bot lane. Fucking Chris is coming around behind Tristana and lands the root. Raging Kenny's going to try land as much damage as he can. But Tristana is going to be able to get away just in time. Janna taking a lot of damage too. Wow, that was so close. Tristana was able to get that rocket jump right after the root ended and barely got out of there in time.
That was an amazing gank, and it was just an amazing play from Janna. And that's kind of the power of having Janna. You decide to trade off that sustain for the ability to ward off ganks and ward off attackers. Now we see something going down in mid lane here. Big damage going down on Brand. Brand's just going to decide to fight it out, but Cassiopeia gets off her ultimate in time, and that is going to be another kill for Shyvana. She is going to be 2-0, and that's going to be 2-0 for Geo and friends as well.
Oh my gosh, that Cassiopeia ult was perfect.
Oh, it happened at just the right time. Brand, I'm kind of surprised Brand decided to stay around. You know, he was in obviously a terrible position. His flash was up, so he could have flashed over into the brush and decided not to, and instead thought that he might be able to hit off enough AoE, and it was just not enough.
Now, something I'd like to point out here. Janna went for a mana manipulator instead of a Philo Stone.
Interesting.
I'm not certain why.
Well,
Tristana
you do have Corki in lane.
Nearly as mana hungry as some of the other AD champions.
You do have... Oh, Janna went. I'm sorry, I was thinking Sona.
No, I was...
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense then.
Yeah, I'm wondering, new support build meta?
Who knows? We'll see. You see a ping go down, and it looks like Cassiopeia is going to take the blue for Team Geo and friends. Of course, Shyvana doesn't have too much of a use for it outside of cooldown. She's not a mana-dependent champion. So, and Cassiopeia with the blue buff is just a tough lane to play against.
Definitely. Well, if we look at the ward coverage right now, we see that both teams have a ward in the bottom tri-brush, both teams have a ward in top lane, and both teams have a ward on Dragon. It's a little bit early to be thinking about Dragon. Dragon's still doing a little bit too much damage, but it doesn't look like either team is really going to be able to pull off any ganks for a while unless they decide to ninja their way in.
Right, both teams kind of playing really more or less conservatively with the ward coverage. I mean, look, the ward coverage is amazing, and it's kind of interesting how they both have wards in right around the same areas. If you look, the Tri-Brush is warded, the Dragon's warded, you've got this lane right here by the Wraiths that's more or less getting warded now pretty consistently, and yeah, they really have the maps warded up well, so I'm not sure we'll see ganks for a while here.
Yeah, I'd like to mention, though, the wards in Tri-Brush. Both wards just went down. That definitely is in just the usual's favor, because Maokai will be able to come in. Obviously, he doesn't know that there's a lack of ward in that Tri-Brush, but if he does decide to gank, then that could turn into another kill for them. The question is, will he be doing it? It looks like he's working his way down at the moment.
We see a ping go down right towards red, and I wonder if Maokai is getting ready. Maokai actually has a red, so he's pinging it out. That's actually Geo and friends who are pinging out just for thoughts Maokai, and they know that he's there. They know that he's in the jungle. This could be a very dangerous situation for Maokai. It could be kind of not a smart idea to counter jungle this right now.
Yeah, here, in fact, you're right. Here comes Shyvana. She knows exactly where he is, and she has 6. Chris, who's on Maokai, does not have his ultimate, and she could easily ultimate in front of him right now. But here comes Brand to protect him. But Cassidy is coming around from behind. Maokai's landed the root on the Shyvana, and here comes the Brand ultimate. It looks like it doesn't bounce, so they're too far away. The Cassiopeia ultimate going out, stunning Maokai, but not Brand. Brand is able to get away, but Udyr's teleported in from top, dealing tons of damage to Maokai. Well, we have a little poke war going on between Brand and Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is barely able to take down Brand, but Brand's passive finishes off Cassiopeia, both of them killing each other. Tristana has come to deal tons of damage to Corki right now. Looks like Corki isn't going to be able to get away. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
What an incredible play.
Amazing.
That was almost the entirety of both teams.
Well, it ended up being a 4-3. Ended up being a 4-3 exchange in the favor of Geo and friends, and really it started off in the favor of Just for Thought, and Brand took down Cassiopeia, which was amazing, but Brand, I believe, did go down in the process as well, and yeah, that was just amazing. A strong teleport in from Udyr, who you can see is going to go ahead and farm up the mid lane. That was just a really, really strong fought team battle early on in this game.
Yeah, I think that Just the Usual knew that they could fight it because Lee Sin does not have teleport, Udyr does.
Right.
And they took advantage of that fact. They said, Maokai wants to invade, okay, we will drag this out as long as we can because we know that we can get 5 there much quicker than you can.
Absolutely, and there was the level advantage. Don't forget there was the level advantage over Maokai to Shyvana. Shyvana was 6, like you said. Now Maokai's 6, but Shyvana's already 7, and we see her kind of pulling away a little bit. She's 2-1-0. She's already got her Wriggles, another Ruby Crystal, and her Boots, whereas Maokai right now just finishing up his other gold per 10. He's got Boots and his Philo Stone and Heart of Gold.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a mistake, okay, a lot of a mistake for Maokai to try to counter jungle Shyvana. They didn't know where the wards were. Cassiopeia does have a ward on her, so they know that she's been warding around her lane. And Maokai went in possibly the most dangerous route possible. And Shyvana was there to answer it really quickly. Maokai just cannot fight Shyvana 1v1. Maokai is a ganking jungler. He needs his team. Right.
Shyvana is one of the stronger duelers of the game, and that's just kind of it was a really risky play for Maokai, and unfortunately it didn't pan out. It started to pan out for a while with the team fight, but it ended up going in the favor of Geo and friends. Now we do see the pink ward go down at Dragon, so that means we should see a Dragon fight pretty soon here, I would assume. We should see the team starting to clump up around the Dragon area. I don't think we'll see top lane make their way down there. Udyr doesn't have teleport anymore. Lee Sin, of course, doesn't have teleport, so it might just be a 4v4.
Uh-oh, Maokai is moving back in to take Wolves again, but Shyvana knows where he is because of the ward, and this time she is ready. Brand is coming around to defend her, though. It looked like a repeat of what just happened.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool Maokai twice. Shame on him. Yeah, that was kind of a risky move once again. They don't have ward coverage there, whereas Team Geo and friends does have the ward coverage. They know that they're coming in there. They know that Maokai's around there. And like we've said in the past, Shyvana's just the stronger duelist of the two, and so I'm not sure why he's doing that. We see some big damage going down up at top lane as Lee Sin getting hit hard from Udyr. Udyr's just saying, listen, you want to Q me? That's fine. Come in, Q me. Resonate strike me. I don't care. I'm going to Tiger Stance you.
Yeah, Tiger Stance doing tons of burst damage. Though it's over time, that damage, let's see, let's actually look at the numbers. Right now, he is dealing 360 damage with 1 Q.
And also don't forget that it increases his attack speed by 35%, so he's not only getting that big burst, but he's hitting a lot faster and a lot harder. If we take a look at his build here really quickly, he's got the Wriggles, so he does have a little bit of attack damage on him.
Bottom. Sona has been left alone, and Tristana is dealing a massive amount of damage. The defense of Sona ult goes out. Oh, but Corki's here because
what an ultimate! What an ultimate from Janna!
Finish it off because Tristana is jumping back in, dealing a lot of damage to Corki. But Corki's turning around, dealing a bunch of damage as you can. Both Maokai and Shyvana have come to try and turn this into their own advantage. Maokai is able to keep Corki's safe, and Corki's gonna be just fine. Wow, but that was a free kill for Geo and friends right there.
That's amazing, and that's one of the powers of Janna. She might not have the sustain, but she has that shield. She has enough CC and kind of availability. If you see somebody that's left alone, man, you could take advantage of that. And Shyvana is sitting at the red right there. Maokai walking in there. Maokai getting hit hard by Shyvana, but he is going to back away. Shyvana is going to back away as well, as she doesn't have the support from her mid. But actually, look at he's still sitting in there. She is just babysitting that jungle.
We also have Cassiopeia showing a lot of aggression toward Brand, chasing him through his jungle,
What
finishing
an
off with
ulti.
the ultimate. Wow!
Now we're going back down to the red buff here, actually. Well, right after that, Corki getting hit hard by Shyvana, and they're going to have a little bit of a match. The exhaust goes down on Corki from Shyvana. There goes the ultimate from Shyvana. Now Shyvana is going to get exhausted by Sona. Big damage going down. Shyvana is low. They're gonna change their focus over to Tristana. Corki goes down from Tristana, and it looks like Geo and friends might get away with this one on a 1-0 exchange, and that actually is a 2-0 exchange because Cassiopeia now coming in and doing big damage on the Maokai. What a fight! What heads up from Cassiopeia?
Oh no, poor Sona getting caught out again.
And Sona is going to go down. Lee Sin now comes in there. He's got the resonating strike. He tries to get it in there, doesn't hit anybody, and so he is probably going to back off, I would assume, after that exchange, saying, you know what, listen, we don't need any more casualties. We need to back out. They're probably going to go for Dragon here.
Oh, yep, Udyr is teleported down. Something that happened just before all of that excitement, Udyr took just the usual's blue.
So just the usual right now, really kind of losing the game in the jungle, and Geo and friends are just really taking advantage of that. Corki doing some big damage onto Cassiopeia. Brand was there as well. He hits his his skill shot onto her, and then Raging Kenny comes in with Corki and does the damage onto Cassiopeia, and she falls.
Oh, Pawn Gypsy has moved on to Janna, it looks like, but Udyr is there to keep her safe. Lee Sin is going to keep going for it, though, even after Udyr's bear stance him.
Oh my
Queuing
goodness.
in, trying to do as much damage to Janna as possible to finish her off, but it looks like it's not going to be that's going to happen because Corki tries to hit her, but Janna ultimates him away.
That is the power of the Janna
So close.
ulti, and she has been hitting those just at the last second. That time saving herself, last time saving Tristana on a great ultimate as well, and so nobody's going to go down on that one for Team Geo and friends.
That was so close, though.
Now, taking a look at this after kind of the action dying down a little bit, look at the numbers right now. Geo and friends have a 10-4 kill advantage, and they also have about a 3K gold advantage. Now, 3K gold isn't that huge of an advantage. It is a little bit starting to pull away, but that's something that you can catch up on with dragons. That's something you can catch up on with farm.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the builds of Tristana and Corki right now, Corki has his Sheen, but Tristana already has her BF sword, and we missed it by pulling a freak.
Raging Kenny going down there, and did you catch who happened to kill him?
Yeah, that was, I think that was Tristana. Yeah, she has 3 kills.
Well,
like, no, or was it Janna? Wow, we really dropped the ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm not sure why Corki would have been in their jungle, but looks like, yeah, Janna taking down Corki. Amazing.
Wow. All right, then. Map awareness. Learn it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Oh, big damage going down bottom. Sona has been ulti. She had to use her ulti. She has been ignited. She's getting away barely with any health, but I have to imagine Tristana's going to get there. Janna with the flash into the slow, and Janna's like, that kill is mine. Oh my goodness.
Slap in the face.
And we see Maokai go in there. He does have his oracles already, so he's going to take out the ward. They do know that he is in that tri-brush, though, and he's starting to kind of set himself up in there. They know that he's there. Maokai, at this point, is pretty under-leveled. He's only level 7 versus the rest of the team is in double digits.
Mm-hmm. Shyvana's moving into the jungle. Looks like she just wants to plant a ward, but Lee Sin is on the other side.
Now, she does know that Lee Sin is over there because they do have the ward in that bush there. So they do know that he's there, and Lee Sin does have the level advantage right now over Shyvana. Shyvana is going to go in. It looks like they do have Udyr sitting right there. I wonder if they're going to try to tower dive him.
I don't think so. Lee Sin is decently tough right now, and he's got his tower. He's at full health. He'll be fine.
Now it looks like Geo and friend Shyvana is camping out the blue buff. I wonder if blue buff is going to hop up pretty soon for team just the usual, because they're really kind of camping that area out strong.
Yeah, Geo and friends actually finished off the blue instead of leaving a small one. Oh my gosh! Cassiopeia almost getting taken down by a Brand burst. And
Big
that is
damage.
the power of Brand right there, but he's being caught by Shyvana.
Shyvana going in there. She's going to lay down some damage. Udyr ends up getting stunned by Brand. Maokai is going to throw it on his ultimate, try to negate some of that damage, and I don't think we're going to see another trade here, although we do see Lee Sin coming in from the brush. Lee Sin has his resonating sight. Corki comes in with the Valkyrie, does some big damage onto Udyr. Udyr is ignited. He's going to go down to Pawn Gypsy, and that is going to be a 2-0 exchange, just the usual, coming out of the better side of that one.
Yeah. Actually, Cassiopeia went down before that fight even really started. The larger portion of the fight, I mean, to Brand's ultimate, which bounced around and hit her that last time to finish her off.
And I'll tell you what, one of the things that teams forget, when you go down early, when you're down by about 6 kills, if you catch somebody out of position like that Cassiopeia and you take her out, and then you can take advantage of a team fight and having the advantage, man, I will tell you that. Sorry about that. Nicantor throwing me something in here.
Hold on a second, we have a team fight going on. It looked like Geo and Friends was trying to stop that push, but just the usual had a perfect Sona ultimate there, absolutely ready for them. Stunned both of them and finished them off with no casualties on their side.
Man, oh man, well, just the usual making a big comeback here. They're only, if you look at the gold advantage, they're only 1K gold behind now. They are 4 kills behind, but that's a giant. Really, you want to look at the gold number versus the team kill number. And big thanks to Nicantor. He's telling me that on my stream I had the just playing up at the top here, and I had that saved for the games last night. I had it up there scrolling, and I hadn't changed it, so I'm sorry about that.
No problem. I am very impressed with just the usual. I think that Geo and Friends, they had a great advantage, but they just threw it. What they needed to do was they just needed to stay next to tower, but instead they stepped out from under it and allowed just the usual to capitalize on that with a very good Sona ultimate coming out from Baby Panda Killer. Oh gosh.
Not the baby pandas. I'll tell you, yeah, that's one thing, and they're doing just a phenomenal job of taking advantage of situations. They're taking advantage of people being out of place, like this Udyr up top here, as we see 3 different ones going in. Udyr is going to have to waste his teleport to get out of there, and he does get out of there safely, but it looks like it's actually kind of a smart move by Udyr, because they're saying that Dragon might be up pretty soon.
Oh my gosh! And
what a bait!
Like didn't have the Dragon timer. Yeah, there it is. And
my goodness. That was just an absolutely great bait. They had 3 champions have to go up top. Now, we do see some damage going on as Dragon's being taken on Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is going to go down from Corki. However, Corki in a bad position. He's going to have to Valkyrie out. Exhausts go down on Sona and also on Tristana. They get out of there. Maokai with the root in onto Udyr. Shyvana's taking some pretty big damage right now. The Brand ult takes out Shyvana. Udyr is going to have to flash out. Actually, I believe he got hit out by the Janna ulti. And Brand with a double kill on the Udyr. What a team fight. They said, you know what? Go ahead, take the Dragon. We're going to take out your team.
Oh, man. 3 kills definitely worth a Dragon.
What a great response from Just the Usual, and I believe they're also going to take this mid tower. We've got Tristana and Janna down here. They are going to have to teleport back pretty quickly here, because they're going to do some big damage onto that mid turret and possibly grab the inhibitor as well.
Yeah, what an upset. It looked like Geo and Friends had this game in the bag. I mean, they didn't have the gold advantage quite yet, but it looked like they were just steadily getting it. But now, it looks like Just the Usual's completely turned this game around. They're still behind in gold.
Now, Geo and Friends is going to push them out. There's going to be big damage. Maokai is going to go down. Look at the damage from Cassiopeia on Just the Usual. Cassiopeia laying down big damage. A 3-0 exchange right now. Tristana wants more. She's putting damage down onto the Sona, and she's going to continue to auto-attack her. Janna getting hit hard by Brand. Brand picks up the kill on Janna. He does have double buff, and he's going to lay down his ultimate. Oh my goodness, the damage from Brand! The double kill on Cassiopeia and Tristana from Brand. What a beautiful play, but Lee Sin's going to have to use his ultimate onto Udyr, who's diving in, and I don't blame him.
Oh man, I don't know if Udyr's going to be able to do it. Baby Panda Killer's dancing around tower. Nope. Going to finish him off, but he's going to have very little health. A Lee Sin QE combo would be able to finish him off right now, but it looks like both of them just say, I respect you, And we're just going to go our separate ways.
What an exchange, though, and what a heads-up play from Brand, whose ultimate must have just come off of the cooldown. I'm not sure if he flashed. He didn't flash in there, but he laid down the damage. He laid down his ultimate, and it was enough to take out 2 different members of Geo and Friends. And now we see the kill count really close, 16-15. The gold count really close as well, 32 to 31, almost 32. But we see that inhibitor very close to being down, and we see the turret advantage going towards Team Just the Usual.
Yeah, you look at the towers. Just the Usual has 1, 2, 3 towers down, all in mid lane, while Geo and Friends only has 1 tower down bot. And while that is dragon control, and they have used it, Just the Usual has been able to answer them every time in team fights. Look at Brand, though. Brand has 11 kills.
Wow. That is a fed Brand. He's already got his death cap. He's got 2 Doran's rings, and I'm sure he's going to go back and buy something pretty soon here. I wonder what it's going to be. He's probably going to build something off that Amp Tome. He's going to be able to buy his Rayleigh Scepter off of that Amp Tome, so you know he had a lot of gold sitting around in the bank there.
Cold fire. Brand, I have been so impressed with Lupiness's play right now. He has been able to get so many amazing clutch plays off. He got caught once by Cassiopeia, but besides that, whenever a team fight erupted, he knew exactly when to use all of his abilities, and that shows that he really knows Brand.
That's the thing, and it goes back to the classic patch preview, the good players from the great players. He just, you have to know when to lay down the right moves with Brand, whether you want the stun, whether you want more AoE damage, whether you want to hit more targets, whether you want your ulti to go faster. All of those different factors play in when playing Brand, and like you said, he has just been hitting them all spot on.
Now, if we look right here, Just the Usual has cleared out all of the wards that Geo and Friends had. They have no vision on Baron right now. But it looks like Just the Usual isn't going for it, but they may be baiting a fight here. They could hide in a bush, and Geo and Friends would have no idea. No, it looks like they're just going to push mid. They want the inhib.
Well, I would say at this point you really want to get that inhibitor and you really want to push out that lane, but we do see the ping go down on Baron, and it looks like they might just be trying to set up here, possibly bait in the Baron fight and say, we have more AoE damage at this point. Our Brand is fed and can do a lot of damage. Maybe try to fight that one out. Actually, notice as well, Corki already has his Triforce too. So
yeah, I noticed that.
Now it looks like Maokai walking into a dangerous situation. We'll see the root onto Cassiopeia. There goes the ultimate. Shyvana comes in with her ultimate as well. Big damage going on to Janna is the target right now. They switch it over to Shyvana, who's going to go down. The Sona ultimate onto Ujir and Tristana. They're going to bounce out of there. And big damage also onto Corki. Corki is going to go down to Cassiopeia. We see Tristana also taking out Maokai. Tristana looking to do a little bit of cleanup. She kills Lee Sin. There's the shield onto Tristana. She's going to continue to do big damage onto Sona. And that is going to be an ace for Team Geo and Friends. Tristana taking the MVP on that one. She did eventually die, but man, what great play from Team Geo and Friends to turn this back towards their end.
Wow, what an absolutely intense team fight there. And I saw exactly what went wrong. Geo and Friends allowed Shyvana to keep her burnout going on 4 of their squishiest members.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You can't forget that really, when the ultimate comes in from Shyvana, it's AoE damage. That's the difference, is she just deals a lot of AoE damage.
Shyvana was able to really just get into that back line, wreak havoc. She didn't even need to auto-attack. Her burnout was doing absolutely massive amounts of damage to Corki, to Sona, to Brand, and even Lee Sin, who was stuck in the back there. Shyvana had... I'm actually impressed in the way that she was able to drag all the damage dealers out of the fight and single off a single target while she deals tons of damage. Yes, tons of damage.
There it is.
Her burnout on all of the damage dealers. That was an absolutely brilliant play by Benfchu.
Now, something that we see here, we're not too surprised, once again, right around the Baron. Both teams took out enough people. It was a 5-3 exchange, so Team Geo and Friends did not have enough to go ahead and take out Baron, and we're probably going to see another Baron fight, or a fight develop around this area as they look to really kind of get the advantage. Really what you want to happen here is to kind of have, you want a team fight to erupt and allow you enough to either take out the inhibitor if your team Just the Usual, or Baron if you're either of the teams. We do see Ujir soloing Dragon down below as well, and so that'll be another Dragon for Team Geo and Friends, and I believe they've gotten all Dragons so far this game.
Now, I'd like to take a look at the AD carries right now. we're starting to get to the point where Tristana and Corki are starting to have more and more influence over the fight. They're really starting to deal most of the damage of the team. Corki has his Triforce, like you said. He also has a Quicksilver Sash, in case of a Cassiopeia ult or a Udyr stun. However, Tristana has
and we see the Rook go in from Maokai onto Udyr, so it looks like there's going to be a team fight. The Janna ult is going to knock them out of there, and it looks like they're just kind of do a little bit of a poke war here. Shyvana has taken some really big damage from Corki. Oh, Corki's going to QSS, like you said, outside of the Cassiopeia ult. Lee Sin goes in there, but Lee Sin is taking big damage. Lee Sin's going to go down. The Sona ult goes down onto Udyr. Shyvana coming in. She has all that damage that she's doing, but she's going to fall to Corki, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange, and possibly that inhibitor as well, as Team Geo and Friends is going to kind of have to back out a little bit here.
Geo and Friends' strength right now is in Cassiopeia and Tristana. Both of them are sustained damage dealers for the most part, but just the usual has been able to burst down the people that they need to, being able to get a lot of that burst damage down. Brand able to shut down either of them very quickly.
You see the pings go down there. The team Just the Usual is going to ping up in the northern jungle of Geo and Friends, and it looks like they're possibly going to go for Baron. Do you think they could do this fast enough? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
All members of both teams are up right now.
Brand laying down a big pillar that hit. I mean, look at the damage that he did to both Cassiopeia and Janna. Janna was full health right before that pillar.
Brand with blue buff is a force to be reckoned with, just able to throw those towers, those pillars of fire out. However, it looks like it's going to expire relatively soon.
Oh, absolutely. And so we see once again everybody kind of forming up around the Baron. You don't want to give up that Baron because really, if you give up that Baron, that's going to be it's big. It's a big gold advantage, big team experience advantage, and of course you've got the Baron buff, which is a great buff. And sorry about the camera control there. Kind of accidentally slid up the top of the screen.
Yeah, you see Tristana, she's out there, she's pushing the lanes really hard. My expectation right now is that if Geo and Friends is able to start a fight and drag it out, they will win. They have a lot of sustained damage from Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia does have a little bit of burst, but it is over time. So it's a burst over like 2 seconds. You have Tristana, who's much more fed than Corki right now, and is going to be able to deal a lot more damage than him. Shyvana, of course, has Burnout. Udyr has the attack speed buff on his Tiger Stance, which he has at level 5 right now. He is level 17. So, if Geo and Friends is able to drag a fight out, they'll be just fine. If they can somehow stop Brand from bursting them down, they're going to win this. But Just the Usual has not been giving them the opportunity to do so. And I've been very impressed with their ability.
It's been really a great game so far both ways. I mean, both teams have just done a great job of not letting the other... Once the other team gets a little bit of momentum, taking it back and kind of rewinding it back. And so I really think what we're going to see here is either a big Baron fight, and whoever takes it's probably going to take this game. I'm just going to go ahead and lay that prediction out there.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good prediction. We're 32 minutes in. Wow, this has been a pretty action-packed game for only 32 minutes having gone by. So much pressure on Baron right now.
Right, and we're gonna see Just the Usuals going ahead and taking out that top turret. And I mean, why not at this point? Grab the CS, grab the turrets, really kind of push out those lanes. That's something you're gonna see here. Both teams want the map control. They want to control the map with as many wards, with the lanes being pushed out as possible. And we see kind of a hodgepodge right now.
Oh, it looks like Just the Usual is starting Baron, but Geo and Friends knows they found the ward. They learned that they know. I know that you know that I know.
Maokai is looking for somebody. He is just itching. You can tell he's just itching for somebody to initiate on, but he's going to decide not to. And once again, they're just going to go back, farm out, push out the lanes a little bit. And it looks like Maokai actually is going to go back here. So I don't think we'll see a team fight anytime soon. And if we do, it might go in favor of Geo and Friends.
Well, something I just noticed that I probably should have mentioned earlier was Shyvana right now is level 12, and so is Maokai, while Udyr is level 17, Cassiopeia is level 17, Brand is level 17. They're both getting terribly out-leveled. However, Maokai is able to do more with those lower levels.
Absolutely, because Maokai is a support tank jungler. Really, you're not going to be expecting a ton of damage out of him. You want those roots, you want those knockups, you want those slows, and that's why you pick Maokai. Whereas, like you said, with Shyvana, you want her to get the level advantage. You want her to start getting her Atmas. You want her to start getting really tanky and really beefy. And so, a very interesting note is Maokai earlier in this game was level 7 when Shyvana was 10. And so the fact that he caught up is amazing. Now, we do see Team Just the Usuals going for Baron. We'll see Janna Tornado go in there, and I wonder if we're going to see this being contested. Geo and friends just kind of sitting outside there, and Just the Usual once again going to back out. They're going to look to find somebody out of place, and it looks like they may have found Udyr here. Udyr is in a kind of a tough position, but they switch over. Big damage going on to Cassiopeia. The brand, she's ignited. Cassiopeia is going to go down. Janna's going to go down as well. Big time damage going down on Team Geo and friends. However, Udyr does get the kill off on Brand, so that's going to be Brand down. Shyvana with the ultimate in. Shyvana is going to be doing that burnout damage. However, Corki takes out Shyvana. Lee Sin has got a flash out of there. Corki's going to try to Valkyrie out. He's not going to be able to. Udyr with major sustain, and Udyr is going to go down to Maokai. Maokai grabbing a quick double kill, and that is going to be a 5-for-3 exchange in favor for Just the Usual.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Just the Usual did an absolutely fantastic job of saying, hey, Geo, you're really good at these straight up team fights where the tanks are up front and the carriers are in back. Yeah, let's take the team fight and just sort of splinter it off into 3 different groups.
That's exactly what they did, and that's a great point, is that they really did a good job of peeling people away and putting people towards other parts. Now, we do see Maokai trying to take out the inhibitor, and Janna's going to try to stop her. It should be noted that there's 3 up, and Maokai is just going to bail out of there. This might be a dangerous situation for Maokai.
Maokai could actually probably kill Janna right now, but Cassiopeia and Shyvana are both there at the ready. Wow, this is kind of goofy, actually. Now look at the gold right now. There is only a 900, right now, 900 gold lead for Geo and Friends. And look at this, Geo and Friends is still like just a little bit ahead in gold, but Just the Usual has been coming out on top in all of these team fights, and I think it's from better coordination.
Absolutely. I think you're right as well, and I think they have a better job at controlling their CC and controlling their damage. Now, we do see a little bit of a team skirmish going down here, as it looks like Lee Sin goes down onto Udyr. Udyr's going to take some big-time damage. Now, I wonder if they're going to switch their focus. Yes, they're going to switch it over to Shyvana, who's a lot squishier than Udyr right now. Udyr's going 1v1 against Corki. That's going to be a dead Shyvana to Lee Sin. Valkyring out is Corki. However, Corki goes down to Tristana. Tristana rocket jumps out. I wonder if she's going to be able to get away or not. You do have a full health Sona, full health Lee Sin going after her, and she's going to get Shirilia's from Janna. Janna's also going to lay down the tornado. I don't think we're going to see a dead Tristana.
No. Maokai really knew what to do there, though. Shyvana was out of position, completely out of position.
Absolutely.
It looks like she just isn't tough enough to take that sort of damage that Udyr was able to before. Like, Udyr was caught out of position. It actually almost ended up being a good thing, because then they all used their abilities on Udyr.
Right, and that's something we have seen throughout the game, is Udyr has been doing a good job of initiating and tanking on. However, Team Just the Usual have been doing a great job of killing Udyr fast, or at least switching over to whoever's there. If it's Shyvana, if it's Tristana, whoever it is. And so, really just great awareness from the teams.
Yeah, that underleveled Shyvana, those missing levels really starting to hurt her. I was also very impressed by Maokai's Shirelias. In fact, they have Just the Usual has two
big damage going on to
now.
Tristana. Tristana's going to go down from the Brand ult, and also the Cassiopeia power core. Janna's going to have to run out of there. However, it might be a scary situation for Team Just the Usual. Shyvana in there, and Shyvana's going to see Sona. She's just going to decide not to. Brand is right there, and he lays his stun down onto Shyvana. Now, this is a scary situation for Brand. You've got Udyr, you've got Shyvana, you've got Cassiopeia. Lee Sin, an even scarier situation. Lee Sin sitting there. He's going to get Tiger Stanced and Bear Stanced by Udyr, and he's going to go down. Cassiopeia almost going down as well, as an Ignite went down on her.
Just getting caught out of position. Both teams, I think, are starting to... Like, they must be getting exhausted because they're starting to make these small mistakes. This has been a very stressful game.
Absolutely.
Oh no, looks like Shyvana has been caught out of position again. Maokai rooting her, and Corki dealing an absolutely massive amount of damage, finishing her off. Looks like Maokai actually finished that kill off there.
I'll tell you what, that Gatling gun from Corki just does a lot of damage. And I want to look at that really quickly here. He actually has, well, he's level 18, so he's got everything maxed out. It does a total of about 100 damage and
Uh-oh.
reduces armor. Oh, we do see Maokai getting out of... sorry about that. We do see Maokai getting out of position there, and he's going to have to burn his flash.
Whoopsie.
Was that the classic Mortal Kombat? Whoopsie!
Perhaps. Though I think right now the focus right now should be shifting over from the AP carries to the AD carries.
Right.
However, for just the usual, that isn't the case. Brand is still doing absolutely massive amounts of damage. His AoE has scaled into the late game so well because he's able to land it all so powerfully. And right now, Tristana, though she was up on Corki in mid game, Corki has done a really good job of catching up. Like you said, the Gatling gun dealing a lot of damage. We saw how much it did to Shyvana. I think that Corki's done a very good job of catching up to Tristana. Obviously not as farmed right now. We look at the gold, Tristana has 13.5k, while Corki has 11.6k. However, Brand is easily making up for that.
Yeah, Brand right now is 16, 6, and 7, and like you said, usually what happens is you see your AP carries start to kind of fall off late game, your AD carries kind of start to take over, and that hasn't been the case. Brand doing a lot of damage. Now we do see a Baron fight starting to erupt, and it looks like just the usual still fighting it out. At this point, they usually go back. Oh man, Shyvana getting caught out of place, and Shyvana got bursted down fast and hard. Udyr, though, he's going to come in with the teleport. Now this could be a dangerous situation. Udyr's going to have to flash out as well. Baron is still taking damage, and Baron is still doing damage out to Team Just the Usual. They're going to shift over to the other team and see if they can possibly get an ace out of this. Cassiopeia with the ultimate. There's the QSS from Corki. Corki's going to take down Cassiopeia. Big damage onto Tristana, who has to waste her heal. Now Tristana's there. There comes the Brand ultimate onto Tristana. Janna with her ultimate trying to give some damage, but Tristana was stunned by the Brand ultimate and just did not have enough time to get out of there.
Wow, that was... Gio and friends really lost coordination in that fight. Cassiopeia got, if you saw, got left behind by Udyr and Janna. Completely ignored.
Big damage going down onto Udyr, and Udyr is going to fall fast. That damage from Brand and Corki is just too much, and it looks like Team Just the Usual is going to be able to take the inhibitor, or excuse me, take the inside turrets, and is also going to take the Nexus here. Shyvana with the ultimate in there, but that is going to be game, and that is going to go in favor of Just the Usual. Now that is Team 1, that is game 1 out of 3, so we're going to have another one coming up here pretty shortly.
Mm-hmm.